Wheel of Fortune is like the Tower in disguise. So it was like the idea that when things are changing, when we're shifting into something new, it can be a stage of life, a season, an aspect where we might feel a little bit untethered and out of control because there's change or uncertainty, that the energy of like the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune, which is typically a very positive trajectory, the idea that we're moving into something transformational and new, and maybe unknown, but the idea of it being about anything that's falling away here. So bringing it into the Tower, anything that's falling away with the Tower being necessary to clear. So, you know, in preparing these fields for the harvest, they need to be turned over and prepared in order to plant the new. So the Tower brings in that sort of, you know, that type of volatile, transformative energy where something is rocked and moved in order to make space, to create room for the new. And then bringing that into everything we've been saying about, you know, wherever we are in the present moment, we're always creating into the future, is recognizing that even the circumstances that bring us to a Tower moment are all things that on some level that we are creating and bringing in order to continue into what we're bringing forward in the future. So this is giving us a little bit of that energy of a shake-up or energetic shifting and changing. And another thing that I'm feeling there is one of the things that's going on astrologically right now between March 9th and the 15th, so happening now, is Chiron is active, and Jupiter conjunct Chiron, and Chiron is the wounded healer. So it's the energy, I mentioned this before about the wound being where the light enters you. So think about this bolt of lightning coming in and striking the building, you know, and this idea that like if that's the wound, if that's the source of the shock or the change, and it doesn't have to be anything shocking, but just the idea of Chiron is coming to my mind to speak to, depending on how you're feeling right now and whether this resonates for you already or you're familiar with maybe what the Tower energy is around you right now. That's all being poked at right now. That's all being kind of brought to the forefront because Jupiter and Chiron are conjunct. And so it's bringing up old wounds. It's bringing up things that are coming up to be ultimately healed. There's a great opportunity for healing that comes up through those things coming to the surface. So the thing about the Tower is like striking, again, I'm getting that like wound where, you know, being the place where the light actually enters and shakes loose all the excess that has to go in order to bring in the new. So there's an element of that coming in with an invitation to just being here, being present, and patient to know that everything is revealed in time as we move through those layers. And even again with the field of turning things up and turning things over, knowing that it is preparing. Oh, you're right. You can't make progress without a little discomfort. So you're laughing out loud. The wound is open and it's shaking loose. Let it shake, girl. Let it shake. Let it loose. Let it go, because yes, it's like anything that is in that foundation, like I was seeing it like the foundation of a building and like the wood that is like rotted or it's no longer supporting, it has to go. Like it has to come out in order to rebuild new. So it can require some repair. It can require rebuilding. It can require an entire reset elsewhere, you know? Whatever the energetic building is, right? So yeah, the wound is open and it's shaking loose. So, and there's a couple of feet in the air, but hey, you know what? The Fool isn't affected because it's all about the journey. And I know depending on what kind of wound we're moving through, finding joy in the journey can be a whole thing. And I get that completely, but it's about how we approach the thing is happening, right? This thing is happening. How am I going to take the trust fall? Am I going to let myself be shoved off and, you know, falling, or am I just going to allow myself to see where this is taking me, to see it through, to allow the energy to move, right? So I see those 2 feet, and it's about the invitation to try this way, right? We've done this. We've got the scars to prove it. And that's Chiron. That's the wound being ripped back open, coming back up. I thought I dealt with this. I've done this. How many more times, right? That energy. What is this showing up to show me? Perspective is key. It's all about the perspective, right? And if it doesn't go, the house is going to crumble. Absolutely. So, you know, it's irritating, right? We'll just pick that adjective. Many different adjectives we could pick, but we'll just slip that one in there at minimum. But yes, you see, and I can tell already, you're just really insightful into, you know, what the Tower energy is all about, that it is nothing to fear, and that it is coming forward for you. So actually, if we're finding joy in the journey, what is it coming up? It's almost like a little mystery to unpack here, to really, really find, if I got to spend 15 seconds finding the positive about this thing, what could I possibly find? Like, I'm challenging myself to find the 15 seconds of positivity that I'm going to infuse into this wound. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling there. So, you know, I love your attitude about it. That's the Fool energy, and it's perfect. It's just what is prescribed for the week ahead. So keep on keeping on and allow the old to fall away. You're creating space for the new. Beautiful. Ooh, look at that sun on the horizon. So you've got the 10 of Swords. And this is a card of endings of cycles. And one of the things I love about this version, this came up last week, is we see all of this wreckage that has come up to the surface, and things that perhaps, again, have run their course, that we're done with, that are no longer serving us. And then over here, we see the little life ring right here. And so it's like there is something there to move on into the bright future that lies ahead. So but not to like gloss over what all happened there with the ship sinking and all the stuff coming up, because there is an energy with the 10 of Swords of just kind of being down and out and kind of like done with that. And we can certainly come to that point feeling quite exhausted or just out of down for the count. And so, you know, if that energy resonates in needing sort of like a recharge or a rest, here we have this energy coming in about being present and patient and really allowing yourself to just release and let go of all of that stuff, because it's not coming with you into the future. It's not coming with you as you move forward, but you are protected and safe to do so. It's just a matter of allowing all of that stuff to go. So, you know, the really beautiful silver bright lining of this card is the new dawn on the horizon, the new beginnings. So there is an energy here of, you know, moving away from the stuff that, and even things that bubble up to the surface. So kind of building off of what I was just saying about the Chiron energy and Pisces season and things like, because water is emotion and things are just kind of coming up from the surface, from the bottom, the sediment that's coming up and washing up to the top. And we're kind of looking at it like, yeah, an old rusty barrel, like a couple of broken pieces of wood. Like I don't have use for those things anymore. Like I can really let them go and be at peace with that. Bon voyage as I move on to new. So there's an energy of a new dawn on the horizon for you, of an ending of something. And it can just be even just something ending, a cycle, something that you've been doing that is coming to an end, and you're beginning something new. So it's changing over of chapters. There's another element there too that could be coming up for you, because 10s are really, really showing that end of a cycle, and always on the other side is a new beginning. And that brings us into that beautiful Fool energy to really get ready to embark on the new and be open for all of that beautiful brightness that is on the horizon there. we are winding down the next 2 weeks of Pisces season. We're closing out the year. So believe it or not, 2022 energy, this was the last stop in the zodiac wheel. So it's like crunch time where it's all coming up to be seen, to be dealt, to be felt, to be moved through, because Aries season in 2 weeks of the new moon and the spring equinox is going to kick off new, fresh energy again. I know we keep saying like, it's the new year, it's the new year. So that's another thing, is just being mindful. If you are feeling a lot of debris coming up, that is the season that we are in, because we're culminating into the and wrapping it all up and getting ready for the new officially